Hey everybody, welcome back. Um, Thank you ahead of time for tuning in and lending your support, your energy. It is very much appreciated. Please subscribe and hit the notification so that you can see what's coming. This is a special edition today. There is a collective read embedded in this, I promise. But we're now going to shift into what else this station, this channel is here to provide. Whew. I would pause and restart, but why? There's a lot of attacks today. Today is actually the 22nd. It's a 4-day, 22-4. You're going to hear me talk about the 22-4 when it comes to positive emperor energy and distorted emperor energy. I waited for the construction in the hallway to stop for a while. Now I think it's starting back up. I do apologize, but I'm not going to stop recording. This is not happening. I'm pretty sure people have pulled out their voodoo dolls and their candles and they're carrying on up a storm right now, y'all. They're really carrying on because evidently everybody is doing their thing. Whoever's tuning in, whoever needs to tune in, of the 144,000, and that's just the SWAT team of the chosen. There's plenty of chosen, plenty of favored by the Most High, plenty. The 144,000, we are just the fifth dimension having a human experience on Earth. We done anchored. Now that we're out of cryostasis, now that they done beat the shit out of us, wore us down to the nub, and that was what it took to knead us like dough to rise. So now here's the rising, and they don't like it because that privilege that they have been accustomed to for generations, they're gonna have to share or get out. Okay, let me calm down. This is a celebratory. This is a very celebratory read because we're going to begin to cover the point of origin. Point of origin. I have plenty of that. You could check on the website, Tanya the Brooklyn Medium, and go under our work, I would say. Yeah, I'm going to pull up the website anyway for you to see what to click on, and it will give you a sample of the points of origin, the different star systems. I haven't posted yet on the website different dimensions. This is all still, it's new to me. It's going to be brand new to everybody else in the way that this is coming through me. There's plenty of cultures that have been aware of life from different star systems, different planets, planetary bodies, celestial bodies. They've been very aware of it, and I've been tapping into that knowledge and adding it. And have almost died. How many times? Have died and been brought right on back by my ancestors. Usually while we're asleep, they pull that stunt. Now the beautiful thing about that is, if you have passed away in your dream state, because the powers that be are so wicked and they like to attack us at night, and our ancestors just revive us right on back. It's very easy for them to do. But that makes us more supernatural now. Makes it much more easier for the clear audience, all the clears, the clear audience, the clairvoyance, all the clears are way more acute and sharper than when we were children and we were extremely sensitive. You're so sensitive. Quiet. Why are you so sensitive? Silence. Why are you so sensitive? Are you done? I like homeboy from the Black Panther. Are you done? So they are done. A lot of us have cut off those very sad people. Why are you so sensitive? Cut. Okay? I'm going to be sensitive to your BS that you think you're hiding. Wow. Like I said, I waited for all that noise to calm down. I'm sorry, but we're going to use that noise as confirmations to whatever points that are being brought up that I'm channeling out. If I channel out something, it's like, dun. That just confirms what I'm saying. Because whoever's in that hallway is wilding right now. But a lot of readers know what this is. A lot of people reading or not understand about harassment, being followed, right? So obviously what I got to share with y'all today and going forward, what I've already been sharing, is why I'm just yet another 144,000 for sure, for sheezy, being targeted up a storm because they just can't seem to get my ass the fuck up out of here. But the prophecy is stating, all the prophecies are stating that I'm here with all the sistren and brethren that I'm tethered to as we're a SWAT of the 144. We're at a horizon, a grand rising, a grand horizon, the fifth dimension. Wiping motherfuckers, powers that be, everybody out. Get out. Get out. If you're not of the new physics, you shit out of luck. And this is Judgment Day. Now, the Father God that we've been praying to for so long, before he gave up the throne, as he was giving up the throne to Yahshua, and I'm watching this, he says to me, when I ask, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? Because it's not making sense to me. It's like I'm happy that Yahshua is receiving the throne as per prophecy, as per earned. Don't nobody play with no Yahshua, because that's when I lose it. You understand? And he was just in spirit form in Zion, by the way. Everybody else got a new body when they got there, the way the physics works. But Yahshua, when he was there, he was just in spirit. And he didn't really go out and about, of course. Confirmation, he stayed in a certain temple that's in Zion, that people choose to go to that temple if they don't think that Zion, like they like it, but they want to go back into the reincarnation process. So they go to this temple. This temple has, mostly angelic energies going on. Zion is very much like Earth, very much like our universe, but a fresh new one, a multi-universe, different planets, planetary systems. Intergalactic species interaction is absolutely phenomenal. I will go more into Zion, what I know, what I'm able to see, since it's been expanding, since I've been aware of it going on 15 years now. So Yahshua was just in spirit form. And as I'm watching Baba, the Father God that we always, our Father who art in heaven, that. I'm looking at him and he's up there in age, which I always thought was interesting. Why did this individual that we wouldn't even know, that's going to have to be a special all in of its own. But he just stayed older, I guess, to give Zion a certain type of energy of a paternal protection. Because in Zion, you go up amplified. You go up amputated, but you get a new body. So all of that is healed or healing. You heal in all levels, from the amputation, from dying of cancer and or other horrific diseases, of dying in car crashes or being assassinated or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You heal. It's a healing process. It's a restoration plaza. This is what Zion is. And you bring your glory there. And when you bring your glory, aka your karma, it expands and embellishes more. It offers more to Zion. So now Zion went from a frequency to a multi-universe. And by the time we realize all this time that this is Baba Guy right here, he's leaving. And he's like, I have to keep y'all safe. It's time for me to go. And I'm looking, I'm just like, you're actually giving, I already knew by now that the throne, your throne is your body, your physicality, which has its own consciousness. I understood the throne, so now I see that as he's entering into this vast pool of what it looks like water, but it's not. It's a different type of liquid. I guess it's amniotic, but it's not, because it's iridescent. It's clean. It's not. It doesn't look like anything from like a human, a body. The human body produces as amniotic fluid, but it's iridescent. And once you go in, you're not coming back out. You're gonna enter in time and space, I guess. You're gonna enter in the 3D, and so I ask, as I see him exiting, Baba, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? And he says, marvel at creation. And then he went into the reincarnation process. He folded, as Einstein would say, he folded back in, quantum physics, mechanics, and now he's here in the human experience. He just didn't fold randomly and end up on another, planetary body or star system. He's in this, he's with us, but just doesn't know who he is, and leave it like that, right? Because he's going to start from the beginning. Was he tired? Was he worn out? Was he heartbroken? Yeah. There's a whole story behind Father God. There's a whole story out. I'm still learning it. I'm still learning it. In the meantime, Yeshua receives the throne, and the throne looks younger and younger. I'm watching him. Now he has a physicality. He has a throne. I'm watching Yeshua, and he's changing. He looks just like Father God, but now just 40 years younger. And his hair is growing out, and his locks, it's locked. He actually has locks. And I'm like, wow. Wow. How does he look? Ethiopian, hands down. Period, point blank. I didn't even know Mary Magdalene was already there. Had already been incarnated, Lord knows how many times, but the last incarnation, she's somebody that a lot of us currently in modern time know of. And she passed away horribly. So she's, healed up. She's gangster. That's sis. She makes sure I'm safe. She's one of my protectors for sure. It's nice to, see her from Once Upon a Time on the stage performing to being most vulnerable, going hungry in a wormhole, and she's protecting me, making sure there's a roof over my head, right? Good peoples. Like, your music kept me going in my youth, and now in my awakening process, a grueling awakening process, here you go, protecting. Thank you. So while she's healing, while Yahshua's healing, they get to know each other. And eventually we all get to find out that she's Mary Magdalene, he's Yahshua. I'm like, does she remind you of that last incarnation when you last saw her, Yahshua? He was just like, yeah. Yeah. And it's cool because she gets to show Yahshua all this modern... She gets to bring him up to speed, right? Teaching him the dances like in the 80s and stuff. And it's... Sometimes I do connect with Yahshua and talk and thank him because I know he protects me. But I'm caught between hurt that Baba's gone and but he's not gone. He's not gone. He's here with us, right? And now that Yahshua takes the throne and he has his wife, and we call her Doom Van Doom, gangster like she was when she was on this side of the veil. She was on the stage, she was performing before masses of people. She was part of a group. Then they take me to, in my mind's eye, Papa Legba. He's the one who put me on to who she was, for real. Like, not just, but like who she is to Yahshua, who she really is. Her spiritual, what do you call it, ranking, Then he's like, pick up from Da Vinci Code where they filmed that church that they said that they kept Mary Magdalene's body in. And I want you to take some images of that and I want you to render it out. So when I rendered it out, that's when I saw Sister, one we've known, a major history-breaking music artist, Mary Magdalene, aka Doom Van Doom. I'm like, wow. On the walls of this church, the rendering is her and her grandiose hairstyles when she was on the stage performing. And I'm like, that's her. Oh my God, that makes sense. I'm so grateful that those two are together again. And I couldn't see anybody else being Mother and Father God. I am so proud of her and I'm so proud of Yeshua. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for them. Now, where do I start? There's a whole plate of food up on this table, y'all. Points of origin, when it was the Big Bang. Now this is where Baba God says, I want you to marvel. And who better to help me marvel than Stan Lee. Point of origin, signature DNA group, Venus. There's 2 points of origin in Venus. Point of origin 1, that are very much like Avatar, like the movie. And then, the second group, point of origin from Venus, is Stan Lee. We're going to do a special just on Stan Lee. Well, no. Yeah, he said yes. Just on Stan Lee. Stan Lee has received his boon. He is of the Greek pantheon. You can call him Hermes. You can call him Mercury. But don't that make sense? He over there showing people what they can do with their boon. Awesome. Mm-hmm. That position was open. The Mercury position was open. The person who was actually Mercury forfeited and chose to become demon. That's a whole nother story. Their demon name is Hagagenti. They can go over there and Hagagenti themselves over to the side somewhere. I'm glad that Stan Lee is Mercury. Messenger of the gods. A god messenger. Okay, so better to help me to marvel at creation. Points of origin. In here we have all technical packets of all the different origins that I have located or found, been guided to discover. But there's so much more, of course. It's immeasurable. But what I do know, I will share. Whatever else I find out, I will share. So now we're talking about Aldebaran. We're going to start with Aldebaran. But I'm going to give a quick preview. I've already recorded a lot. And it's stuck in OneDrive, so I can't upload those videos, which suck. But we're going to start from scratch. Okay? So we have these technical packets that will, depict different points of origin. Each origin, the group looks like their origin and no one else's. Like Sirius B1, Sirius B2. It's not going to look like Aldebaran because they're not from Aldebaran. And Aldebaran is not going to look like Andromeda 1, totally separate species. So we're going past the earthly, oh, you're black, you're white, you're this. I'm mixed, I got Indian in my family, and black, and this, and that. And we're going to go into the intergalactic races as if we don't have enough to work with racism. You from Aldebaran, so you ain't shit unless you from Mars, I'm getting ready for that ignorance. But let me tell you something. This new matrix is not going to tolerate but so much of that. Okay? This will be published eventually but we're dealing with ancient Sumerian tablets that will also back this up. The tablets are depicting what's going on now. Like this is the strength card in full, and explains why the strength card even came about in the first place. Because the same way I'm able to decode tablets and other things, the other 144 and outward could do their own extraordinary, not just ordinary, but extraordinary, because we're now in an extraordinary age. This tablet will depict the age of Aquarius-Capricorn. All these things we will expand on, so please stay tuned into the channel because there's more to come. This is my ground zero tablet, Sumerian tablet. And in there we break down all the building blocks for life in 3D, especially on Earth, Earth being point. If all of existence needed to cease to exist, the process would begin on Earth. So if you want to know why is Earth so significant, because it is point for folding in. If the matrix is done, we're not going to do that though. As per prophecy, we're not going to do that. So this tablet is depicting neurons, the melanin site, the medulla oblongata, which is tending the actual matrix. It's composed of T cells and stem cells and some other things. So the atom is important, but they didn't show the atom as we would see it in the magnifying whatever. They're showing it as an atomic blast pattern to make it very clear and very understanding that we're talking about now. So embedded, you have nuclear subs, and you have typically, not always, but a lot of times there'll be 3 poofs of ether or whatever the hell that's built up, but right, whatever, from the smoke, from the explosion, the earth, everything. But it's also the 3 stars of the Orion's belt, the 3 pyramids of Giza. There's a lot of cities, a lot of places that know to put 3 pyramids in the way of Orion's belt. When they built at Giza, at that particular time, they used the plumb line, the high priest, and they were able to measure that space near that Sphinx, which is way older, very Atlantean, that Sphinx. And they were able to use a plumb line measurement to find the primordial point in the sky. I want to do more research on that. I'll get back to y'all on that if I find anything in particular that we need. But the primordial point in the sky, and then the Orion's belt, they want to align these, they wanted to make sure it was sacred ground, firm ground. This is Freemasonry science. You need to have firm ground. You can't build anything on sandy ground. You need firm ground, and you need to build with precision in order for it to stand the test of time, in order for there to be true value in what you're building, a reverberation of energy coming out of what you have manifested. But it helps to have everything aligned. You have the practical foundation, and you have alignment with the heavens. Age of Aquarius - Capricorn. Hold on one second. We'll go more in depth into the tablet. I do have an actual reading on that tablet. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than this, but this is enough right here to depict. This is Aquarius. This is the age of Aquarius - Capricorn, right? That's Aquarius. That's the goat Capricorn to support Aquarius energy. With the waters receding from the Piscean age, there's a lot of transparency, a lot of secrets, a lot of revelations, because there was a lot going on underneath all of that Piscean age. Okay, there's a lot that went on, a lot that was allowed to go on, undetected or unrealized, hidden, a problem. Okay, this is we're gonna go into each. This is the Phoenix, dealing with the resurrection. The Phoenix is bringing in, leave all the blessings from the Piscean age or whatever, and get out. This is the gate of hell. Get your ass out. Take your ill intent, that sword, that knife. You may go now. And this is the Phoenix making sure they go down. And that's also known as Atul or ATL. The Mayans, the Aztecs, the Incas, they know about that symbol of Atul. It's usually having this formation and something sinking or something coming out. They ain't coming out. They're going down. This is the 144,000. This is what you're doing to your nemesis and all their flying monkeys coming for you. You're getting them the fuck out of here. In the age of Aquarius - Capricorn, get your ass up out of here. With that Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, get out. Okay? So we'll go more into these tablets, but I wanted just to reiterate that this is my ground zero tablet. This is like key, this particular tablet. And it's giving, just the foundation, the building blocks of life. There's much more to it. There'll be more layers to this tablet. But the very first layer of it is, boom, we knew from way back when, thousands of years ago, that y'all were going to create this damn bomb. And at the time of the creation of this bomb, we are addressing that time because it's ending one way, one energy, one frequency, one type of earth for another. Okay. Before I dive into Aldebaran, right? This is one of the books that I have, different DNA. I'm going to bring up one particular DNA group. I nicknamed them Thundera, but it's more to it than that. They are from one of the main Orion's belts. Ursa Major, if you want to know what's going on here. Ursa Major, hey. But they're from Alnitek. I'm still learning. It's one of the main stars, one of the stars. Yeah, Alnitek. So it's Alnitek, Alnilem, and Mintaka. Those are the pyramids also at Giza, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. But the Alnitek star, this is, I say Thundera because it's very feline energy, very, drawn to the feline energy. There's Tisa Tells. You got Sierra. Hey. You got Clear Bear from Heroes. Resilient. This is Through Lynn's Eyes. He's an amazing reader. Please check out his channel. He's always on point. And he's a Capricorn. Hey. And just definitely tune into Tisa Tells. And you know what, Tisa? I'm going to send this to you. When it's time, I'm going to do a whole breakdown of Alnitek, where your point of origin is from. But I have to say this. I love that she's covering Diddy's trial, that she is here in New York and handling her business, right? That's one thing. But Tisa, can I tell you that this I brought to Sean John and pitched it? Because I knew what would happen if you can take to the silver screen, to entertainment, this truth. How people from Mars, regardless of the earthly race, you know what I'm saying? Televise this. These are the Lyrans. This is Lyran 2, Lyran 1. Look at the Lyrans. They all have something to offer, the potluck of the human experience, right? These are indigenous, true to the earthlings, earth beings. From Hydra, the great central sun. Hold on, there's some things I'm not ready to talk to y'all about, but I'm getting there so you can understand why Hollywood was so important, y'all. And why it's the wood utilized for the Ark of the Covenant. Look out, this was in the sky outside my home. They're very kind, these beings. Having a human experience. That's my grandmother. That's her in the sky right there. That's grandma. She's a Nordic Agarthian giant. It's another reader. Incredible, beautiful, amazing. Strong, powerful. Neptune. All with traits, all with sounds too. Like when you put Lyrans in one room and you put Aldebaranian, and I listen, I can tell you which room has the Lyrans, which rooms have the Aldebaranian. It's whatever Aldebaranian is like in their original, in their point of origin, in that particular physics. This is how it's going to manifest in the physical here on Earth. So there's certain attributes that is strictly for that point of origin. How they walk, how they move, how they cook, how they dance, how they dress, how they compute with the brain, how they work with the brain and the human experience, how they think, how they move. It's incredible. It's absolutely amazing. And I took this to Sean John back in 2000, end of 2008. And I pitched it to an employee. I left a treatment with my address on it. And it's been on ever fucking since. Did they call back and say, yo, I can see the promise in something like this? You know what I'm saying? Suppose you have the making of the band and you're showcasing, you know, not even the making of the band, just something completely fresh and different that would, through an entertainment form, present to the world Aldebaranian singers versus the singers of Lyran origin, and then you put like three Lyrans together, have them sing, like compete. You put the Aldebaranian, you know, like but you're amazed because you're like, only Aldebaranians have their way of singing, or only, you know, when it comes to dance, you could see how a guardian angel in the human experience, how he choreographs things is how different than, you know, a Nordic Agarthian would, you know, choreograph a dance. Or who's into science. There's one particular guardian angel group. She's a teacher of my daughter. And I showed her her point of origin. She's like, wow, she could actually see it. And I said to her, I said, one of the traits that this sector of angels have is mathematics, like mathematician. She's new to the school, my daughter's school, and she says, you know, before this, I was a math teacher. You know, so we're all bringing something. My point of origin, we're all bringing something to the table. I want to get more into Alnatech, and so, but you know, I got a couple of. We got Alnatech. We got quite a few. Wait, hold on one second. Let me pull up the. I didn't put all the points of origin here. So Alnatech. Let me see something. So that's going to be the next one. I'm going to do Alnatech next. Okay? So that'll be Sierra, Tisa Tells. But yeah, Tisa, I gotta talk to you about that the wormhole that opened up once I brought that treatment with my address on it. Ooh, ain't nobody, if we know now, ain't nobody, Diddy most of all, was gonna give a fuck about presenting this information that the world could really take and devour and do amazing with. Ain't no way. But yet at the same time, what I'm getting, what I'm being told, is that I'm one of multiple chances this motherfucker had before the most horrific destiny. Anyway, so this is Aldebaranian. Take a good look. If you recognize yourself or others, Tell by the contours of the cheekbone. You see that? The ears, specifically to Aldebaranians. Specifically. Selassie. Alexander the Great. Incredible. So if you go onto the website, go into our work, point of origin, DNA signature group, page 1. So there's like about 4 pages you can click on. By the time you get down to the last page, of course, DMX is sitting at the round table, the Ark of the Covenant, of course. Ursa Major, that's just in case y'all was wondering why I had Blanco and Capone. This is Vega, which is within the Lyran. Venus 1, Venus 2. Hank from Chicago PD, of course, I'm a fan. Okay, so let's go back to Aldebaran. Feel free to go onto the website and check it out yourself. And it says, contribution to Earth, the spirit of the polar bear with the Lion of Judah. So like I said, there's like different cultures, that know all of, know enough about how important these stars are, but they contribute to Earth. So I think it's the Intuit or Inuit taxes. There's a Native American, indigenous Native American group. I've got to get that because it's all about respect, being very respectful. But I think it's the Inuit Indian tribe. I'm dyslexic, so please forgive me. That I saw their list and they were breaking down the different animal totems or just energies that are attributing to, let's just say, Aldebaran. Now, Aldebaran also it's a mega supernova star. It has its own dimensions within it, which will have these, these species that I just showed you that they're in the human experience, but how they look, in their original physicality is going to be something else to demonstrate. But Aldebaran is part of something called an occultation. The occultation is what brought down the kingdom of heaven. It was needed to give birth to it. Like we all come into the 3D, there's a birthing process, and then we receive what we need through zodiac, through astrology and astronomy. No different with the kingdom of heaven birthed in, coming in. Another thing is, Aldebaran is the point of origin of the throne that Yahshua has. So already off the jump, big up to Yahshua, Father God, aka Wrath. Contribution to Earth, spirit of the polar bear with the Lion of Judah as their totem. Both the polar bear and the lion is the totems. These are emperors, empresses. Regalia is vital. Oh, I'm seeing a typo here. I'm going to have to go back and fix that. Regalia is vital. Participation with others in projects is important. They're also known as the Chariot. So, you can bring talent to the forefront. There's somebody who has something to offer the planet, and you're like, well, I have the resources to get it moving, to give it the chariot. It is also known as the Chariot. So put the major arcana Chariot. And if I'm not mistaken, when I shuffled and pulled this card for the day, it does say 34/7 Mercury, right? But that's the Chariot. It says restoration of master manifester, the removal of distorted emperor energy. Humanity evolves. And I pulled one of the career cards, right? And I said, what's the biggest thing that needs to be spoken to about Aldebaranians? And it's important because it's also collective read. So I wanted to see how that was going to work. And now I'm seeing how it works. So this is about timing. When it comes to Aldebaranian point of origin, it's about timing. Okay? There's a time and place for everything. Very important that we adhere to that. It says Aldebaran is also known as the Chariot. Okay, so I reiterate that, which is about triumphant forward movement. Healers come so far. So Aldebaranians are healers, and they've come so far from where they began. If they have that Chariot energy, they are going to proceed through life. They're more than likely an Aldebaranian may not come through a fixed sign. If they are coming through a fixed sign, and the fixed sign is Aquarius, Scorp, Leo, and Taurus. If they're coming through a fixed sign, this is quite challenging because they are about movement. So I can see them more in a cardinal sign, leadership sign, mutable, communicative. I can see them more in those particular signs. But they are healers. Leaps of faith, very important, taking leaps of faith, but it's a timing energy. Must have and be able to give pure love and trust. That's amazing. Must have pure love and trust given to them to thrive, and must be allowed to do that. So Aldebaranian, if you are just you're just in a young, like young and fresh, and you just want to play and stuff like that, when it comes to romantic love, I would, just, keep that in mind. Like, be very clear with yourself what you want in love. And this is generally speaking, be clear of what you want to. Are you ready for that kingdom spouse? Are you just playing? Are you somewhere in the cusp? Because you don't want to hurt yourself playing with somebody who's playing. That's what energy attracts energy. You attracted that energy of playtime, and then you're like, but I want a commitment. But you can't be too upset. This person was right where you were, and now you're evolving where you might want something more. So it's definitely giving me this energy right here. It's all about evolution and forward movement. The seventh vibration, faith versus worry. Faith versus worry. So let's pull some cards. It's going to be a career energy. Okay, that's it. I don't need that. They can be, okay. So I'm like, why am I seeing the Tupac card, right? Let's scoop this out the way. In one of my previous reads, I just, this is from 9/11 and Tupac deriving out of this as the usher. So, and this is him a little closer. That's him showing up on my skin without pot. But the reason why I'm saying this is because suppose you have an usher that's trailblazing and the Chariot coming through. So Pac, his point of origin is Octarus 3, right? There's several points of origin out of Octarus. And he's a trailblazer, resilient. So if he's anointing, if he's that John the Baptist, and he was in a previous life, we'll get more into Pac's history, okay? But, if he's baptizing, trailblazing, forging, cutting a new path, and then you have a Chariot, somebody who has the resources and the mentality to plan and, schematic, how to support, how to have faith versus worry, how to keep things moving, right, in their own way. You got the trailblazer moving in their way, you got the Chariot moving in their way, and let's just say you had a Lyran. So let's just say, you have this Lyran who has all this talent, but in the caste system, they're a field ninja, right? You know what I'm saying? So somebody who has the resources and the ability to move would be like, yo, get in this Chariot, and I will you know, put you on, sign you onto a deal, you know, hire you into a new job, because I know as a Lyran and your capabilities that, you know, that's like Spielberg, you know what I'm saying? Steven Spielberg. I know, very creative. This is Martin Lawrence. Spielberg is Lyran too. Lyran 1 is Martin Lawrence and Ludacris. You know what I'm saying? These are talents that if you put them in that chariot, you're going to blow up. You're going to do very well. So let's just say the Aldebaranian is like a CEO of a corporation, and now they're bringing in this major talent who is a Lyran. And they have major talent that set off and perhaps is why they even have a conglomerate in the first place through this Octarus person. Okay? It's a very nice way to synergize and work with other points of origin. So the more this data is out, the more we know how to interact with each other in a more harmonious way, in a more impactful way. Stanley, what can you tell me? Let's marvel at the Aldebaranians. What can you tell me? What can you tell me? He's like, I don't know what can you tell me? What can you tell me, Stanley? What can you tell me? Ups and downs. Your work has potential for both advancement and stagnation. Because we're dealing with that chariot energy. See if there's hope, but allow yourself to move on if needed. Okay. Stanley is a smarty pants. Let's get the next one. Am I disturbing you? I'm sorry. Am I disturbing you? Are you sitting down with Einstein and Tesla and everybody else working on something massive? Of course. What's the next thing, Stan? Immediately he's laughing about Diddy. Didn't he? Didn't he do this little heart thing, this little fake ass bullshit in the courtroom? Anyway. Give and take. Be open to giving and receiving to keep the flow of abundance going. Give someone a chance and ask for what your heart desires. So everything we're saying about Aldebaranians, giving somebody a chance in love and in business. That ups and downs thing, I know it has a lot to do with faith versus worry. Very important. Faith versus worry. Worry will put you on the path of most resistance. Faith will put you on the path of least resistance. And this is how your career / destiny is realized. Step for step. Ooh, spiritual birth. So it's going to be 4 cards? Okay, so I can pop a leg, but there's 4 cards Stanley is going to talk about. Connections. Okay. Build bridges between people. Contact those who can help you. Your actions set you up for the next opportunity. Now this is for Aldebaranians, but I think this is, let's just say an Aldebaranian can assist you if you want to interact with them, with that Aldebaranian. It says build a bridge between you and that person. Contact them, reach out to them. Your actions set you up for the next opportunity. Okay. So this is the first Aldebaranian read ever. There's going to be more. There's still so much more to learn. This is the first one I ever did like this. Great match. So you need great matches. You're prone to great matches. That's a really beautiful thing. That's what you're here to offer. So this is also what the Aldebaranian, they're the traits of the human experience that they govern. Okay? So they govern how to handle ups and downs through the 7 vibration, the chariot, energy, forward movement, stagnation. They it's about balance, relationships, give and take energy. They do have the Leo energy attached to them. there's a lot of Lion of Judah, Lion energy going on. They have strength. It says they are about connections, so that's a strength, having connections, build bridges between people, contact with people that you need. And they're here to give to the planet. They're here to take care of that planet. Love up the planet. You are on the verge of finding the perfect work for you. Don't give up. You may need to grow your own business to truly be happy. So they can be CEO and they can be entrepreneurs. Bottom of the deck. Outside forces. So perhaps, being very wary of energies that don't belong to you, that might be projected onto you via the abuse of magic or anything, evil eye, just being in an environment that's very low vibrational. We got to be careful being in low vibrational environments because we become a product of that. Keeping your home space, your business space as blessed and clutter free as best as possible is very important. Blessing your threshold, your doorway, so that you only bring into your home what you need, and whatever is not of your energy stays out of it. Even anointing and blessing yourself, I think you do very well with spiritual baths, just like anybody else. I don't like that moon energy. You may be into the occult or very familiar with it. It says, with outside forces, though, let's read this. It says, unknown figures are driving the situation and you may not be able to control the outcome. This cycle will shift soon and you'll be okay. So you're at the chariot, but let's just say the chariot is the horse gets out of control. You're like, so you have it. Any charioteer will be able to, if you actually sat down with a charioteer, maybe in ancient Rome you would have. But they would tell you there's a science behind not getting killed in these races in the Colosseum when they were using the chariot, or in battle, if they're in battle, how not to get the falling off of it, or what happens if the spokes get loose, and how to move it this way, move it that way. Because sometimes things happen. So if something, and this is a collective read as well, particularly in career/destiny. So if outside forces with that moon, you got the occult going on, you got demonic energies. This is the more extreme. You got jealousy, you got secrets that could be of danger. If you're not protected, if you're not wise. Okay, I'm being told pull through 57 on each card, and we're going to end the read with that. No problem. Let's just get a little bit more. Just focusing. I'm picking up on Stanley. Every time I pick up on him, I get to smiling and kikiing and stuff. Okay, so with this card, I'm not too happy about, but it says your work has potential for both advancement and stagnation. See if there's hope, but allow yourself to move on if needed. So there's people and environments that are wicked and evil, and you should be mindful and get the hell away from these people. Blessing blockages, people, I get the feeling this time for movement, because we're dealing with the chariot energy, for sure. We're dealing with career, destiny, chariot, 7 vibration, faith versus worry. So if you've been operating out of worry, they're attracting really volatile people who are possessed with very foul energies. There is heavy magic going on for who I'm talking to. On the back it says quantum quatrains written in flames like graffiti in the 80s. We got the subways dirty, grown ass parties swinging machetes. If you love Papa Legba, rub your little tickle bitties, just playing, but he ain't. This is a Nostradamus rant for the piss ain'ts that will shit they pants when they short on the rent. So you got these, what I'm getting off of this immediately, you got protections around you, number one, right? But for people who are susceptible to that moon magic and any other forms of magic that will come for you out of greed and jealousy, competition, and things and foolery. These are golems from like the Lord of the Rings. They're like precious. They're stuck to you and will only bring you down. They're waiting to take what you have and run with it. These are people who are far gone. They will not be able to be helped. They are not being assisted by the Lord. They are definitely marked for a horrific exodus out of the 3D, never to show back up again. That's what's causing your ups and downs. Well, at least what we're talking about now. Faith versus worry. Path of faith, way more easier, better, simpler, gentler, abundant, clear, peaceful, happy, harmonious, without the golem precious right by your side, looking to do some harm, setting up traps and shit for you. They can't even help it. There's no helping them, all right? It's finished. God don't like them, so what you doing with them? Baba God had to fold it down, and the new Father God, wrath, is just like, I said, and I'm keeping my word, I am the word, I said, I'm bringing that iron rod and I'm going to give a good pow-pow. And you think I'm not? Shit. This is the arowana fish. That arowana fish is worth like $250,000 to $350,000. People buy this fish, especially if you are into feng shui. But in the Asian culture, they don't mind investing in a fish like this because it brings, just like goldfish brings blessings into your home, feng shui wise, energetically wise. This is that amplified. So people don't mind investing $250,000 and north of for something like this. Now you are this in people's lives and or businesses. When you come into an environment, you bring the blessings. And you got to be very careful with this give and take. That's why it's coming out with the give and take. Okay? Make sure that people really got your back. They really care about you. Not just what they can get from you. Unfortunately, that's in the air. Even people who you've cut off will call back now and be like, I'm so sorry. Can we be Nah, you gotta, you're not calling up to be nice. There's something real bad going on in the air. So people are desperate. They will come to try to get back in your life. But if they weren't giving you the proper give and take, if they showed you that their ass and you shut them down, that's good, and keep it that way. Block their goddamn number. Okay? Because right now, there's hell on earth and there's heaven on earth unlike anything ever before. So it's been that, but now it's Dante's Inferno. Now we call Daisy's Inferno, right? Daisy's Inferno and the Kingdom of Heaven. Here, right now. Okay? So you just want to be around people who know how to balance out give and take. It's a balance. They are arowana fish. There's nothing they wouldn't do for you. They treat you with dignity. You treat them with dignity. You have something to offer. They have something to offer. Very, very nice give and take. This is a general read too now. Okay? Connections. Build bridges between people. Contact those who can help you. Your actions set you up for the next opportunity. Okay. Shivalingam. That's a really good stone to have in your, I need a new one. It's a balance of both yin and yang energies. Again, we're dealing with a lot of balance when it comes to connections, building bridges, and contacting only those that can help you, and you can help them, of course, as Aldebaranians or just whoever I'm addressing. It's about having purpose. You're here to help. You're here to bring something to the potluck of the human experience. So it's your actions and set you up for the next opportunity. And it's talking about the Shivalingam energy, receiving strength, protecting your interests, and being very gallant, high success energies. So protecting your interests by building up with good contacts, being a good contact, and only accepting and embracing good contacts at this time is very important. This is where you're receiving strength. This is where they're receiving strength. This is where everybody gets to protect their interests. It's very exciting. That's also my temperance card in the 357 Saratoga loaded with the vocal. So getting with others who understand the balance, not doing too much, not doing too little. So this is I'm learning more about Aldebaranians. Excellent. Through this general read that is also dedicated to Aldebaran. Since all the origins are bringing their potluck, if I do a general read through Aldebaran, it's going to impact people, generally speaking, because what Aldebaranians are bringing here is affecting everyone, right? So, great match. It says, you're on the verge of finding the perfect work for you. Don't get caught. You may need to grow your own business to be truly happy. I see one card, but I'm gonna shuffle again. I'm gonna still pull that card, though. Okay. Great match. All right, so lots of protection around you caring for the earth through working for others or working for yourself. What do you hear? It's not about what everybody owe me. It's what I owe to the world. So how I'm going to do this, right? And it says you're on the verge of perfect work for you. So the opportunity on the verge, that means it's always there, technically. You can just pull what you need to you, or pull towards what you need with the Chariot, forward movement with the 7th energy. And the tool or the weaponry associated with the 7th level of the major arcana is the sword, the truth, the sword, the word, the Excalibur, your birthright. You're here to help others maintain their birthrights. Wow. Okay, so this is the upper portion of the Ma'at scale with the monk general symbol. You know, the monk general who I call Nate. What's up? On the back, he says, party if you want to. So, you know, you can tell this is where you would hang the plates that is going to balance out the feather and the heart. Right here, this is symbolizing the whole of records. We can't weigh you out without looking at all your deeds and stuff like that. But this is talking about justice. This is talking about protection from the ancestors and from deities, a whole spirit family protection that will allow you to be always able to access, I can't say that word, access, tap into the whole of records for yourself and for others to assist innately, intuitively, or consciously trying to like meditate or study or figure out or do divination to tap into the whole of records to assist people in their destiny and their career. Very, very awesome energy. But that because of that, you are protected. It says Mularam, Solaram, da da da. Okay. So we got two things. We got the Shiva Lingam stone. It's giving Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, y'all. Because this is that bridge. It's a very crude drawing, but this is the bridge before Indiana Jones cut it, when he had enemies flanked on both sides coming in for the kill, and he just cut that bridge, and people then fell to their demise. So while you are tapping into what you're supposed to be doing and keeping things balanced, you're working for the Ma'at scale, you're working for Judgment Day. This is incredible. It's amazing. Anybody coming for you while you're in your destiny, in your north node, they go down, and they go down horribly. They go down horribly. So the read starts, with this pissant, my grandmother would say, this pissant, this asshole that's possessed. The third eye, what third eye? It's the mark of the beast time for them. But that third eye should have been. And they don't know how to stop pursuing you. So you have protectors that will make sure that they stop. And it will be very, very bad. And that's it. So be careful of the phone calls, the correspondences of people trying to get into your good graces right now. Block the fucking number. I don't know what space you're in with these people, because you're probably just poised and very balanced and mature, trying not to curse so much anymore, stuff like that, right? So you're trying, like, if they manage to call through an unknown, like, what's this phone number? And you pick up, but as you're picking it up, or right before you pick it up, you feel like you shouldn't be picking this number up if you don't know it. It's like somebody coming by your house unannounced. You don't answer that damn door, right? We're not back in the 60s where you open the door and you had cake and refreshments. You always had something in the house that the kids weren't allowed to touch, because just in case company came by. But we ain't in them times like that no more. That's a special energy for people who's special to you, that don't have to worry about calling, but they would anyway. They would anyway, out of respect and regard for you, and boundaries, and maturity, right? We're not in our, well, I might be talking to folks who's in their 20s, so this might not apply, but when you're 50, when you're in your 40s and in your 50s and you're in North, I turned 50, it's a threshold like a motherfucker. There's certain things, once that 50, oh my God, I'm 50. You know why I don't give a fuck about this, and this. I don't sweat that type of bullshit. I won't tolerate this type of shit either. I used to tolerate the shit out of it before. I won't tolerate it now. So there's a lot of changes, within your level of maturation. Maybe in your 20s, hey girl, what's up? Let's go here, let's go do this. Hey girl, let's go do this, let's go have some drinks. You don't have the kids, or you do have the kids, but you have plenty of energy, and you have a support system watching them kids, and you out, hanging out, just relaxing, enjoying life. But when you get up to a certain age and a certain way of life, hey girl, or yo, what's up? Yo, you want to go shoot some hoops? You want to go here? Blah blah blah. Check out this. That tends to just drift away, because there's a time and a place for everything. So by all means, if you are capable of having a good time in your 20s and in your 30s, in that kind of way, you better go ahead and do that. Enjoy your life. Enjoy it. Be smart, be safe, be balanced. Be vigilant in victory. Remember that you're still naive in so many things, and that's going to be like that for a very long time. We're all still naive on something. So because of that naivete, you should be vigilant as you move forward. You're in that chariot, but that chariot, you need to have like all the latest bells and whistles and gadgets and shit of the latest automobiles, where if you go to parallel park, you got the camera, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to have, that chariot need to be decked out, turn down the music. If you're in your 40s and your 50s, like, it's a time to be grown. Turn on it, knock out all that goddamn noise and calm down and get to work. Okay, the outside forces at the bottom of the deck, because this is this is more to come. So what happens with this damn moon magic? Oh my God. And any other forms of magic. Definitely the top 3 forms so far. The top forms, period, is mirror magic, moon magic, death spells, heart attack spells, voodoo dolls, and other forms of effigies. Anyway, lots of candle magic, yeah. Because you're extraterrestrial, and because you struck oil. So they will be coming for you more and more, because you struck oil. Because you struck oil. Congratulations, y'all. Y'all done struck oil. I love it. It says, that was Pac in the tunnel. That was future Pac in the tunnel. I'm going to explain this. It says, the head is balanced, the heart is balanced, you strike oil. Zion is protecting. Zion strikes back. It definitely is that massive, like a Star Wars, but the spiritual wars. Zion strikes back. But when it says that was future Pac in the tunnel, Hold that thought real quick. Beautiful. The outside forces, you struck oil on some supernatural type of shit because there's been plenty of the natural and people have been manipulating the supernatural, but according to, and this is Pac is moseying on him. He said, but because the majority, the masses are papacy whipped, instead of whipping the papacy, we're papacy whipped, right? So because we're papacy whipped, we were sleeping, atrophied, okay? Very atrophied, but now coming out of cryostasis, this is like, all right, with this papacy and this bullshit and the hypocriticalness and the shade and the secrets that the Piscean age and the ages before that could harness. But with the age of Aquarius - Capricorn, it's about just pulling the curtain back and you see every fucking thing now. Everything is to be known, to be seen. Even if you want to get all the way to the core of it all, bypass the Bible and talk that Anunnaki talk. How I'm gonna be here with ancient Sumerian energy? I'm in the dining room area, but the kitchen is right there. I'm snitching in the kitchen. I'm stitching. The new stitching in the kitchen is very Anunnaki, but we'll get to that if needed. Okay? So, struck oil supernaturally. I'm going to say this consistently. The way the physics are, the way the physics always was, and now has become, there have been ways to travel in and out of this reality, this frequency that has multiple frequencies called Earth, right? This program called Earth. It is multiple ways, but even more so now. Prodigy was putting me on. He said there's so many ways in and out of here. I come here, I can have me a social security number and everything, be embedded, nobody, not even the matrix. The powers, Medusi, the second beast of the Revelations wouldn't even detect me. I'm like, wow, that's good to know. So now we're dealing with immortality. We're dealing with, this is what the kingdom of heaven is about. We're dealing with the new hell. If we got the VIP of the heavens, Zion, we have the VIP of the hells, which is Sean and his counterpart, Lilith. Or should I call Sean Moloch? Moloch and Lilith is the new hell. It's the illest. She's the embodiment of hell, and he's the throne in which she would sit on. Oh my God. Woo! For all eternity. So they continue to exist outside of the 3D. I'm saying this to say about this physics, about how funerals, everything's going to change now. Okay? Eventually, you'll see much more change, like 100 years from now, 500 years from now, definitely, because we only just began something that Earth has never experienced before, and that's a 5 vibration, a Hierophant vibration, heir apparent. You rule your throne. No one else is to rule you. So this age of Aquarius - Capricorn is going to be a hard pill to swallow for folks who were hell-bent and hell-bound and controlling the masses in any nefarious way possible so that they could not be sovereign and move the way they want to move, how they want to move, and receive what they're supposed to get, how they're supposed to get it. If they want to be famous, it shouldn't be going through some cabal somewhere, and if you don't comply and do some horrific shit, then you're going to be, stripped of everything. Who the fuck are you? That's why Yeshua is known as Wrath. And his bride, when she come through, is all you hear is, yes, yes, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all. Do your bubble vest, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all. That's Doom Van Doom. Okay? Now, Tupac, back in 94, I met him. This is where we're ending the story, right? I met him at the Roseland. This is like 2 months after the debuting since the New Music Seminar. That September. By November, it was Nuclear, Chris and Craig, Big Mac, Biggie and Craig Mac. Nuclear. Shit was off the chain. And I get to the party. I'm gonna go more into that experience. I did record it. I'm pretty sure that recording is trapped now in my Microsoft OneDrive. Thanks, Microsoft. So I shake hands. I'm introduced to Pot at the Roseland. One of the most monumental moment in my life. We both looked at each other because I already began to have premonitions of him, and about what's happening right now. A book of premonitions I have, right? A lot of us do. So I see him at the Roseland, and we shake hands and everything. Later that week, because I was partying my ass off. Later that week, I'm at the tunnel for Master Flex is DJing. Boom. Here comes Pac. You know, everybody's in town. This is a big whoop-de-woo this week. It's Sean's birthday. That's why the Roseland was popping. You know, Biggie and Craig got that Craig Mac popping right now. That Big Mac cassette tape went viral at that time, right? And so it's popping at the tunnel. It's a golden age. And I see Tupac. And he's standing there. Everybody dancing, moving around him. And he's standing there. He's looking directly at me. And I'm looking at him and I nod at him and, you know, say what's up and everything. But, you know, there's so much chaos going on, so I get whisked away. I wouldn't find out until years later that that's future Pac. Now, the Pac of that, in that timeline, the 1994 Pac, he was probably at the tunnel or on his way. But that Pac, that's the Pac right now. The Usher, the Baptist, the Orisha, and the Green Goblin. When he's in the green sector, the sector of rigor mortis. Ooh, he real mean. Pac is doing the damn thing. That's another reason why I'm still alive. What? Another reason why y'all still alive. What? Okay? And so when I say that was the future Pac at the tunnel, and the tunnel is important because even the address of the tunnel is 244. It's the atomic number. It's atomic energy. There's a change in the atom. The physics is different because of there's a change in how the atom works these days. So Pac can come in and out. And that's probably why everybody's like, I really did see Pac, and they really did see Pac. Yeah. But as far as his assassination, it's like the Hulk is collecting payment for all the foul people who did anything foul to anybody in the Ark of the Covenant or anybody who is of the Ark of the Covenant that's on this side of the veil with us. You are so protected. His name is Fa'antasma. He works with Pac. We also call him, if we don't call him Fa'antasma, we call him Payment Has Come Due. and a lot of people know of him, especially in the United States, when he was alive on this side of the veil. We'll get into Fa'antasma. I want to do uploads on everybody who's part of that arc. But Fa'antasma has gamma energy where he can go into Hulk mode or he can go back down and relax. I love the physics. I love the physics of Zion because there's so much you can do. So much you can do. So much more easier to manifest. Morph, change, all of that. All right, guys, I done talked your ears off, but this is Aldebaran, okay? Aldebaran. Let's look at another. What's up, Luther Vandross? He's good. Of course he's in Zion. Aldebaran. On that note, everybody, you have a blessed rest of the day, rest of the week, the weekend, whenever you are tuning in. Faith versus worry. Remember that, okay? Take care.